Assalamualaikum and good morning to our video lecturer Puan Azarina binti Khalil. Today we will present our case study topic which is Highland Tower. My name is Nur Batrisha binti Omar Nazri with metric number 16DKA 22F1001 along with my group members.
My name is Muhammad Akram Aiman bin Yahya and my matrix number is 16DKA 22F1029.
My name is Siti Highland binti Farouk. My metric number is 16DKA 22F1041.
And my name is Muhammad Farham bin Karim, 16DKA 22F1999.
Okay, Bismillah. So today I will begin with the history of the Highland Tower. Areas on the hillside has become the best place to build an apartment. In 1975 to 1978, as many as 3 of blocks were built on the hillside. As we know, the name of the block is Highland Tower, and this building consists of 12 stories and named as Block 1, 2 and 3. Behind the apartment is a steep hill with a flowing brook called the East Stream, which would pass harmlessly to the south of the Highland Tower building if it were allowed to follow the natural course. But at some of the point, during the construction of the Highland Tower, the East Stream was diverted through a pipeline to flow north on the hillside behind the building, behind the apartment. And this drainage construction was never completed. With that, this landmark case arose out collapse of a tower block in the Highland Tower that development in Ampang, just outside of the Malaysian capital of the Kuala Lumpur, and this case leading to loss of life and loss of use. The remaining block are still standing, and this tragedy has claimed the life of the occupants of the building, as many as 48 victims.
Issues. Development factor. First, the east stream and pipe culverts. In the farthest eastern corner of Arabian Land, Malaysia, water from a tributary, better known as the East Stream, enters a unit. It flows down the hill toward the west until it reaches the plateau where it forms a mud pool. From here, the water is channeled into a set of concrete culverts. These pipelines run right across the hillside. This pipe culvert runs horizontally right across the hill slope of the Arab-Malaysian land. After passing through 10 bungalows lots, the water from the pipe goes straight to the house unit located in the north. The initial part of this pipe culverts was built as part of the retaining wall integration. It has grooves located at various intervals. Just by the side of this sewer, just a few more distant away, there is an open concrete drain. This is intended to drain the water from the surface, while the pipe culvert caters the water emanation from the east stream. The retaining walls. Highland Tower apartments were built on elevated land with a relatively flat base. Right behind it's a steep hill. The hill is terraced, supported by retaining rubber walls that made of various types of stone placed together with mortar at random. Some of these walls collapsed and were buried in the ground at the time of the Highland Tower tragedy. The rest remain either in part or in wall, but in a bad state. From the physical survey that was commissioned by MPAJ immediately after the collapse of Block 1 in the affected area, covering the Highland Tower site and Malaysian Arab land, it's clear that this retaining wall was constructed in an improper manner. Human factors. First, the architect. The architects defend that he was only retained to the design and supervise the 3 apartment blocks, and denied that his scope extended to the drainage, earthwork and retaining wall. This was rejected by the courts. The court held that the architect must take into account the condition of the vicinity of the land upon which the building is built, as well as the land itself must be evaluated when assessing the safety of the building. The engineers defend that he was only retained to design and supervise the structural aspect of the 3 apartment blocks, 2 retaining walls within the Highland Towers compound, and submit plans for the drainage and denied that his scope extended to the drainage work. This was rejected by the court. The court held that the engineer must take into account the condition of the vicinity of the land upon which the building is built, as well as the land itself must be evaluated when assessing the safety of the building. He should have ensured the stability of the hill slope behind the Highland Tower. Weather factor. Continuous rain. Water was found to be one of the factors that caused this high wall to fail. This water emanated from poor and non-maintained drainage, as well as a leaking pipe culvert carrying the waters of the diverted stream.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ali Farham bin Abdul Karim. So today I want to present about my analysis that I do for my group case study that we do at Highland Towers. As a result of the analysis that has been made, there are several causes that caused the collapse of Highland Towers. Among them, cutting down trees and plants that cover the land on the hill, the land become vulnerable to soil erosion. It caused the grip of the land to decrease and not be strong. In addition, the monsoon season in Malaysia, which is November and December, bring extreme heavy rains every year and can cause floods. Flash floods and landslide, which is also one of the reasons for the collapse of this building. This is because the land has become mud and caused the land to become mud. Without plant covering the earth, water will seep into the ground and become a landslide lubricant. It can also cause mud flood that occur at the time. So in this case, the developer failed to submit a drainage plan to drain water from the area to Sungai Ulu Kelang. A poor drainage system is one of the factors in the collapse of a building. Even though signs of damage can be seen for several days, no solution is implemented before the collapse. We can see that the government does not take the incident seriously.
So for the action taken from this tragedy is a cabinet committee has been formed to address all the problems associated with the tragedy. It was chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister and composed by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, Ministry of Information, Ministry of Science, Technology and Environment, and the Ministry of Works. The committee is based in the office of the National Security Council. Second, the state government has set up a special investigative body that handled by MPAJ to determine the cause of the incident. A full report on the causes of this tragedy was complete and published in 1994. And third, the cabinet has decided to stop immediately the tall building projects approved in the hills until a new policy is approved. And another action taken from this tragedy is Cabinet has decided to hold tall building development project, not yet construct, postponed until a decision is made. While projects under construction may be continued only after the developer submit verification of stability and security of the other consultant within a month. Next, the Cabinet has also directed that all buildings of more than 5-story high in the hills to obtain verification from a qualified consultant in the 6 months to approve the stability and safety of the building interior. And following the cabinet decision, state governments have taken immediate action to freeze all apartment buildings in the hills. However, as a result, the Deputy Prime Minister announced that the federal government will formulate a policy relating to development in the Highlands. In addition, the Environmental Impact Assessment EIA will be required for any development project in the Highlands before a decision is rendered. Several existing acts relating to development project in the Highland is said to be amended and enforced to ensure that such tragedy like this will not recur again.
So there are several types of solution that we can make to prevent this thing happening again. So the first one is we can use the retaining wall. So the retaining wall are structure that designed to restrain soil to a slope that will not naturally keep to near vertical or vertical slope. So there are two types of retaining wall, and the first one is gravity wall. The purpose of this type of wall is to prevent potential of landslide by detaining the soil lateral force load. And for the second one is cantilever wall. This is the most typical retaining wall used in construction. It is supported by concrete slab below the surface. So the next solution that we can make is using a rock bolt. So there are four types of rock bolt, which is the first is wedge block at wall, arching bolting, tie-back bolting, and the last one is suspension bolting. So the rock bolt used as a support element in a soil. The rock bolting design is primarily informed by empirical knowledge. It may seem that the rock bolting design is merely a matter of choosing rock bolt types and determining the bolt length and spacing. So the next solution that we can make is by using vegetative plantation, soil conservation techniques, and plant growth that penetrate the chronically extensive tree layers are two ways to combat the landslide. To achieve this goal, one must consider the unique characteristic of the tree and the ideal soil condition. So as we can see here, there are 15 types of plantation that we can use to prevent the landslide.
Conclusion. In conclusion, possible causes of Block 1 Highland Towers condominium collapse are poor drainage, retaining wall failure, and rail piling foundation. Human mistake is shown to play a predominant role in causing the landslide to occur. In addition to technological advancement, it's essential to remember that a structure's design, building, and maintenance must have sufficient quality to ensure its dependability. In order to minimize human mistake, it's advisable to do a human reliability analysis during slope development to prevent landslide disaster. This case study supports and acknowledges the viability of dependability theory as a logical alternative. The Highland Tower decision clarified the extent and nature of the professional duty of building professionals demanded by the law and contains important development in law in Malaysia.